from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 7660. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760. This is the audio channel 1 from UKI 760.
Hola, bienvenidos al Andalucía Costa del Sol Open de España femenino. Espero que disfrutéis mucho de la semana.
A very warm welcome from Spanish star and defending champion Azahara Munoz to the corner of Spain she calls home, Andalucía, in the south of the country, famous for its sun, its sea and some stunning golf courses. It's Real Club de Golf Guadalmina, just outside Marbella, the place host to the Andalucía Costa del Sol Open de España Femenino, an historic stop on the Ladies European Tour schedule with a high-quality roll of honour and a distinctly Spanish flavour this week. Some big crowds have enjoyed some great golf during the opening 2 rounds, and there are some notable names towards the top of the leaderboard. Former world number 2 Suzanne Pettersson shot a 66 on Thursday and will be one to keep an eye on today. South African Liam Pace is a 9-time winner on the LET and is another in a strong position after the opening 2 days. The locals will be following Azahara Munoz, a member here since she was a child and perhaps the favourite for the title now after Friday's fabulous round of 64. The Spanish fans also have Carlota Ciganda to support. The highest ranked player in the field went into the weekend alongside Munoz on 11 under. But it's the young Englishwoman and Solheim Cup star Georgia Hall who led at the halfway stage. The 21-year-old starts her 3rd round on 12 under par, 1 clear of the Spaniards. And so this is how it looked on Friday night then. Hall with a 1-shot lead on 12 under. Munoz and Ciganda 1 back. Pace on 10 under. And the likes of Derry and Vikstrom and the rookie McLaren not too far away. Shout out to Pettersson too, of course. Quality performer. We'll keep an eye on her this afternoon. This is where we are, Real Club de Golf Guadalmina. Beautiful layouts on the Mediterranean coast. We've had some wonderful weather. This is an historic event. And we're about to get stuck into the 3rd round. Lee Goodall alongside Alison Whittaker today. Ali, it's good to be back in this part of the world.
Isn't it? The only thing we're missing right now is a sun lounger, I think. I am so relaxed. Can't wait to go and see these players hit that very attackable back nine. But they've certainly been turning it on, haven't they? And it's been brilliant weather so far in the first 2 rounds as well. A little bit more wind today. Perhaps it might get up to about a club of wind, but still pretty darn nice. Yeah,
it's been perfect, isn't it? This is these are the views from around the 9th fairway and the par 3 10th that runs along the Mediterranean coast. There's the flag, the 10th tee in the distance. Really is a stunning setup here, just outside Marbella. Puerto Banús, the playground of the rich and famous, not too far away. This is the live leaderboard, so the leading groups went out around an hour and a half ago, and Georgia Hall has opened up that lead a touch more now. 2-shot lead now for the Englishwoman. Out on 14 under, Azahara Munoz 12 under. She's the local star. She'll have a strong following this afternoon out on the course, as will Ciganda, of course, well known in this part of the world, from the north of Spain, but still a popular golfer down in the south. She's on 11 under. Liam Pace, former Order of Merit winner on the Ladies European Tour, back on 9 under. And then a couple of names perhaps we're not too familiar with, Al.
Which is nice to see, and it's a kind of golf course that lends itself well when you get a little confidence under your belt that you can really shoot some low numbers. And nice to see Frida Kinholt, the star of the European side for the Junior Solheim Cup, playing well here this week.
There's the setting, blue skies, a little more cloud cover today, and as Alison has mentioned, a little more of a breeze out there on the course today, but nothing too much to worry about so far. We will join live pictures with Azahara Munoz, the Spaniard. 12 under par. This for birdie.
She had an interesting day yesterday, Arthur, in the 2nd round, because she got off to quite a reasonably slow start, made 2 birdies on her front nine, which was the back nine, and then absolutely lit it up with 6 birdies on this side that she's playing now. Some fond memories.
Not to be on that occasion, but played wonderful golf yesterday, didn't she? At 64. Says she thought that was lowest round on this south course. 2 courses here at Guadalmina. There's a north course as well. She said she thinks she can remember an 8 under on the north course as well. over the years. There are pictures in the clubhouse of her as a kid climbing trees around here. Used to walk to this golf course as a child, so she's loving being back in this part of the world, back at home. It's Wikström.
Always quick-paced, Ursula. Pop it in, out she goes.
She was gone in a flash there.
She was.
Marbella and Malaga, not too far away. The Andalusian mountains in the background. Costa del Golf, as it's sometimes known. If you make that drive from Malaga Airport, golf course after golf course, isn't it? Of course, it's been held in this region before. La Quinta, I remember, a few years ago when Mel Reid won. And of course, last year, close to here, but a different course, Munoz was champion on that occasion, the first Spaniard to win this tournament, I believe.
Absolutely, and she was a popular winner there. Who knows what would happen if she did it at her home course, but the crowds certainly have been coming out to watch, and it's just such a lovely environment to be a part of. Everyone's very cruisy in this part of the world. I think it's just a natural reflex almost to feel just a little bit more relaxed.
And for our sailing fans, apparently that's known as A, that one. Is that yours, Alison? Is that what
not.
that
It's
represents?
actually, it was made by a man called Philip Stark, though, who is a famous boat designer. You're going to throw me under the bus like that?
Good knowledge. I wasn't expecting that.
Pamela Pretzwell Asher, recently married. That's her tee shot there on the 10th hole out along the coastline. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, Munoz arrived as defending champion. It's really been Georgia Hall who's stolen the limelight, the headlines so far. It's had such a good year. Of course, was one of the standout performers in the Solheim Cup. Hall, just 21 years of age, made her debut in the team competition over in the States in August. Now here's the 10th, probably the most attractive hole on the course, would you say?
Certainly the best spot to get a tan.
Suzanne Pettersson has not had things entirely her own way over the last couple of days. Good start, 66 on the first day.
138 to the pin here on 10, and that is, well, 137. Not too bad. A bit unlucky that checked up so quickly, but the greens have been really receptive so far this week. I know the green staff here has been watering like crazy.
The 8th tee in the distance, par 3 on the course.
Yeah, an interesting par 3 at that as well. Slightly elevated green. There's a bit of a false front on the front section, but it is quite narrow, but also very long, 32 paces long. So anywhere just out to the right of that pin should just drift a little left towards the flag.
Gives you a good idea of the sport Munoz has enjoyed this week. From the moment she stepped on the golf course, there's photos galore in the clubhouse. I mean, she's a real local star here, isn't she? Although she plays most of her golf in the States, still very much following her career, her success stories around the world. They're proud of Munoz in these parts, rightly so. She's had a wonderful career so far. Consistency over on the LPGA, handful of Ladies European Tour titles as well.
Pretty handy. Pin today over on that left-hand side, 20 paces on. Really don't want to miss this pin to the left. There's not a lot of room over there.
There's Georgia. Played alongside Munoz yesterday. I was impressed with how she dealt with that, because there was a fair bit of noise, wasn't there? And Munoz was putting together some round, but it didn't seem to faze the 21-year-old from Bournemouth on the south coast in England.
Bit of a lucky break there, perhaps finding the sand that seemed to pitch in the rough on the left side. of the bunker. That is Georgia's miss predominantly. If she does miss a green, she has a tendency to pull them a little to the left side.
Carlota Ciganda last to play. He's been a regular at this event over the years. Has never quite managed to get her hands on the trophy, but has given it some loyal support over the years. Good to see her back on the Ladies European Tour. Always keen to get back to Spain, see friends and family.
Just turning it over as well. So short-sighted misses there from Hall and Ciganda.
Precarious vantage point.
Get that man a camera.
So hope he hasn't had one too many glasses of sangria up there. Might not be there for very long. If the wind gets up.
Needs a harness, I think.
Now Leanne Pace. Haven't seen too much of the South African on the LET of late. Good to see her back as well. Always a consistent performer, wasn't she? Munoz and Georgia Hall making their way towards the 8th green. Of course, Munoz, a local here, and we were lucky enough to catch up with the Spaniard who gave us a tour of the club earlier in the week.
Welcome to my club. Come on in. I mean, obviously, this is my club. You know, I grew up playing here. I've been a member here since I was, I think, 9 years old. So it's been 20 years now. I have so many good memories. So many of my friends are golfers, and they still play here. So, you know, it's so good to come home and actually play in my club where I feel so comfortable. So this picture tells a lot about how I used to be. I used to be quite the tree climber. My parents, when they lost me, I was nowhere to be seen. They probably look up on a tree or something. I was always climbing. I'm pretty sure this was one of my first tournaments I ever played, and it's one of my favorite pictures because these two boys, they're brothers, and they're my best friends, and I started to play golf because of them. So we got paired together, the three of us, and it was, you know, it's really special for me to look back to it. And this one over here, it's, I'm pretty sure it's probably one of the first trophies I ever won. So that was pretty exciting for me. And this picture is super special for me. I just turned pro that week, and I got an invite to play the Madrid Masters, and I won the tournament in a playoff with Anna Norquist, so obviously that makes me smile. Good memories from that week. This is our club's pool. I remember when I was younger, we used to always get our lessons and then practice or play and then jump right in. And if I win on Sunday, I'll be jumping in again.
Azahara Munoz, the local star in this part of the world. She's put herself in a good position to dive bomb into the swimming pool on Sunday afternoon.
Really tough shot there from Georgia. You could tell coming off the downslope. A little unlucky that didn't come back down off that hill as well. So a tough shot coming up again.
Strong field here in Spain. Always nice when the favourites, the ones you look to at the start of the week, rise towards the top of the leaderboard. Makes for an interesting, exciting weekend. Diana Luna, another player in the field who's won multiple Ladies European Tour titles. The Italian, lives down in the south of France. Joint leader after the opening day's play. 7 under par. Let's see how Ciganda gets on. His 8th. It's the better results. Still with some work to do to save par though. Tell from the water there's a bit stiffer breeze in the air today. Choppier out there. Almost perfect temperatures in this part of the world this time of the year. Around the 80-degree mark today, Fahrenheit.
So tester coming up for Georgia Hall.
Yeah, that was her third shot, so at least a bogey on the card. Back to the 10th with Pettersson. Saw the tee shot. Oh no, that's a shame.
She had 31 putts yesterday and has been struggling a little bit off the tee as well. So just yet to really get any kind of momentum going this week, and that's certainly going to stunt the momentum as well. You always know how Suzanne feels.
Yeah, has been suffering from recent injury problems. Pettersson just playing our way back into form, was forced to miss the Solheim Cup last month. Munoz for birdie.
Quite a slow putt really coming from right to left, given that the green does release that way.
One under for the round so far, Munoz. Birdie on the 6th. Solid so far. It's Vikström. Tied for 6th at the moment.
Hot off that birdie on 8 as well. Another chance coming up.
Now his pace is 2nd into the 9th green. Yeah, it's a good shot.
Played well into the wind yesterday, the 9th. And it's going to be a couple of drop shots really for this group, our final group on the 8th. Hard to get your head around when it's around about 160 yards, but it always feels to play a little bit less than that for some reason.
So far not the day Carlotta was looking for. None of this trio really have got going so far today, day 3.
It's interesting. This is one of those golf courses where when you make birdies on the reachable par 5s, it can really launch your round forward. And in contrast to that, if you're making pars on those par 5s, it almost slows your momentum down because you feel like it's a real opportunity missed. And all 3 of these players in this final group made par on the 7th, a reachable par 5. Oh, defying gravity. So 2 dropped shots there for our leader. And all of a sudden, might be looking at sharing that lead now with Arthur Munoz.
Yeah, back to 12 under par. So the 8th causing a few problems for the final group. Missed the Solheim Cup this year, Munoz. For the first time for a while. She's been a regular in recent years.
Oh.
In for par, and the locals like it. 12 under, once more in a share of the lead with Georgia Hall. It's worked out perfectly, really, hasn't it, for the locals? He's enjoying the golf. Sigander and Munoz in the final group. Couldn't have worked out much better for the Spanish fans. But particularly the last 5 minutes, because all of a sudden it's a little tighter at the top. That lead of Georgia Hall's has disappeared. She's alongside Munoz at the top of the leaderboard now, both players on 12 under par. Now all of a sudden Leanne Pace is in the mix.
Just a few rolls short. Just always seems to be cruising, Leanne. She has a really consistent tempo in her golf swing and on the golf course. You never see her get, you know, too out of sync at all.
Similar temperament too, isn't she? Nothing much phases her. It's pretty relaxed out there most of the time.
Almost in direct contrast to Ursula Wikström, who really, you know, is such a passionate player on the golf course and wears her heart on her sleeve. Not the easiest tee shot here on 9. Slight dogleg round to the left. There's a road that runs through the fairway down around the 240-yard mark. So a couple of drivers off the tee yesterday. Probably won't see that so much today. And out of bounds all down that left-hand side. Position A1 there for Arthur. Saw a lot of her family out in the crowd. I think most of the Sagunda clan is out. I know Carlotta's brother, mum and dad are in there. A couple of friends as well, always make the journey whenever she's in town.
Sagunda, 10 under. Highest ranked player in the field at the start of the week. World number 22 these days. Perhaps I would have expected Pettersson to be ranked a little higher if you weren't following the world rankings quite so closely over the last few months, but she's just dropped down a touch. Georgia Hall has been climbing those rankings impressively over the last 12 months.
Just jumping 149 places in the world rankings since this event last year. No trouble there for Georgia though. Perfect position. Pin on that front left section.
Yeah, 41 in the world, Georgia Hall. Amy Pretzwell Asher, that's a fine shot from the Scot. Talking of Scots, Alison, Katrina Matthew, big news for her over the last couple of days.
Yeah, just I believe it was Thursday night there was a announcement where Katrina will be the Solheim Cup Europe captain for 2019 in Gleneagles in Scotland. It was a pretty obvious choice by all of the players' opinions, but nice to see it inked in, and I think she's going to bring so much to the game. She was incredible this year, subbing in at last minute for Suzanne Pettersson.
Now this is Natalia Escoriolo-Martinez, who was the surprise package on day one, a share of the lead on Thursday night. Won a Santander Tour event on this course last year, put that knowledge to good effect on the opening day. Looked pretty relaxed out there. Shot a 7 under 65 on Thursday. Fell back a touch yesterday, but still there or thereabouts.
It must be, you know, difficult when you haven't really led a major event before and you're looking around and you see the likes of Munoz and Sagunda, and now that, you know, the starlet of Georgia Hall, which is continuing to rise, just to keep your mind in it and know that you know, your form can continue on throughout the weekend.
Diana Luna on the 10th. Just a hole this to stay on 7 under. Be a touch short, yeah. Five-time winner on the Ladies European Tour, Luna. She's played Solheim Cup golf in the past as well, back in 2009.
More of the same, really, from Pedersen, isn't it?
You've been slightly surprised by her golf this week. Did you expect a bit more?
I think after the drama that happened in Des Moines, it was probably quite hard to get over mentally, having such a build-up and then injuring yourself on the Saturday before and then going through the whole process of watching from the sidelines. It would have been very difficult because it was a team that really needed quite a bit of leadership from within, and I don't really know that they had that, not to take anything away from the American side that played some flawless golf. Pin's just over a couple of paces on that front left section. Pretty handy. Played as the hardest hole on the golf course yesterday, nearly half a stroke over its average. But slightly different conditions here today.
Who did you fancy at the start of the week? Slight advantage asking you after 2 days of play, but was there one player that stood out in terms of recent form, game, suiting this kind of layout?
Well, I actually really like Georgia Hall on narrow golf courses. She loves it as well, perhaps more so than maybe a Carlotta, who is more of a shot shaper and really likes to bomb the ball off the tee. So it's playing into the hands by design of someone like Munoz or Georgia Hall.
Joint leader, remember now, the Spaniard, 12 under. She'll have another birdie chance. It's applying a bit of pressure on Georgia Hall. It'll be interesting to see how the youngster responds. 21 years of age. Has had a breakthrough year, really, certainly in terms of performance at the majors. Solheim Cup debut. She's broken the top 50 of the world rankings. That was another target of hers. Still yet to get that first professional win, though. Could tick that one off the list this time tomorrow as well. Is she ready?
Absolutely. She's been ready for a while. You know, she actually won the Victorian Open at the start of last year, when before it was an LET event, and she was playing some seriously consistent golf in very difficult conditions, and she's one of those players, when she gets it going, she's capable of anything.
This is the 10th, par 3 alongside the Mediterranean.
It's one of the hardest bounces I think we've seen all day. Perhaps the green's drying out a little bit over on the higher left side there on 10. Oh, and it's a challenged love affair with the putter for Pammy Pratswell-Asher. Incredible ball strike, but really doesn't really get it done on the greens all the time. Setting up for a bit of a draw, Vikström. That's a nice leave. Putting back up the hill. Moved the tee up 83 yards today here on the 12th. The pin tucked over on that back right side. But it's been quite an awkward hole from the back tee. It's been around a 5-iron, 6-iron in, just because there is a large hazard down in the landing area. That's about 210 to carry today with driver in hand. .271 to the pin. I think Pedersen's going to like the tee moved up.
Chance for her to make a bit of a move. Back on the 9th.
Might have to get the measuring tape out, I think. Looks like it might be Georgia Hall.
What was your assessment of her golf during Solheim, Alison? You were out there, weren't you, in the States?
Yeah, I got to, see quite a bit of it. And George is a good friend of mine, so we were talking throughout the week as well. But I really couldn't pick someone on the European team that was more prepared for Solheim, which is ridiculous because she was a rookie and had never been there before. But she was just built for a competition like that. Loves the big crowds, loves the atmosphere. Now a little downhill right to left. Seemed to take a bit of a hop off the putter face, didn't it?
In for par. Stays on 12 under, level for her round.
2 top 10s in her last 2 finishes as well. Both happened to be majors, of course, the Ricoh Women's British Open and the Evian Championship just last week.
You say it like it was a coincidence that they were majors, but it says a lot about her approach to the game, isn't it? The way she handles herself on the golf course, bringing your best golf in that kind of arena at such a young age. So impressive. A roar of approval for Palazzo Siganda. Just starting to make a move, perhaps.
And isn't that classic CC golf? Bogey, birdie, and then again backing up. A drop shot on 8 with a 3 there on 9. Big sloping putt this. From right to left.
You're fine. No, you're fine.
Less than impressed.
They're not the ones you like as a pro when they're straight in the heart and just a couple of paces short. You just have to wonder how many times Arthur, playing this golf course as a youngster, pictured herself playing a championship, playing and being in contention. This is where she honed her skills and practiced all of those little mind tricks you do when you're a young up-and-coming star. And now the TV towers are out, the crowds are out, and it's becoming a reality for her. Must be a pretty special feeling.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, isn't it, over the next couple of days, I think, see whether she can just raise her game enough to get her hands on the trophy. It's a wonderful putt from Wikström. Off she goes again. Not hanging around.
2 birdies in the last 3 is getting a little pep in her step, perhaps.
And it's going to be a real test of her emotions as well, Munoz, isn't it? If she's in a position, maybe this time tomorrow, maybe in some way, I think at the start of the week you say, okay, you have an advantage because you're on your own course, you've got your friends here, your family here, you're staying at home, all those home comforts that go with that kind of situation. But maybe as you get closer to the tape, then does it work against you? Maybe because it would mean so much to her. I mean, when you're surrounded by all the people that have helped you through your career, family, friends. It almost adds that extra element of pressure, doesn't it? That maybe can just cause a few problems in the closing holes.
Completely. And we saw that from her last year. After she won, she absolutely broke down. It was such a big build-up. And I think perhaps Beth Allen letting her off the hook a little bit on the last hole helped her get over the line.
Segundo in a slightly different position, of course, playing on home soil, but comes from Pamplona in the north of the country. It's near the Pyrenees. So perhaps doesn't have that same sort of spotlight on her this weekend. Might just help.
Yeah, I always feel with Carlota like anywhere in Spain is her hometown. She just always seems to have friends everywhere, but also, you know, she's got so much national pride that I think just winning in her home country would mean so much to her. And we saw her obviously in contention in that playoff earlier this year in Sitges alongside Anna Nordqvist and the eventual winner, Florentina Parker, just south of Barcelona.
Yeah, it was a wonderful conclusion to that event. Carlota on the right, enjoying the views over the ocean.
Just taking a moment, perhaps.
No cameras, please.
We're going to see quite a bit of that today. Arthur, potentially one of the more skittish players really on tour in regard to noises on the tee. And obviously with these very enthusiastic crowds out following, people pulling cameras out, I'd anticipate her backing off quite a bit on the tee. Took a big hop forward. Will it stay on? I think it won't. But chipping back up the hill. I know the greens staff here were hoping to quicken the greens up a little bit toward the weekend, running about 10.3 on the stimp meter at the moment. Good-looking swing.
And a good-looking result. Advantage hole, perhaps, on the par 3 10th.
After driving the green on 12. Beat yesterday's score by 3 shots. Not to beat. Another one left short and a half.
But should be a birdie for Patterson, which just nudge her up the leaderboard. Won't want to be too far off the leaders today. She's want to put herself in a position where she can still make a move on Sunday. Escuriola Martinez. It's done well to stick around since Thursday in this kind of company. It's still featuring towards the top of the leaderboard, the Spaniard. One of 3 Spaniards on that leaderboard. There she is, Escuriola Martinez, in a tie for 7th, but still Hall and Munoz out in front, 12 under par. Segundo in 3rd place, 11 under par. After that birdie a few moments ago, Liam Pace only a couple off the lead as well. Frida Kinholt, what a week for her, the amateur from Sweden, Ursula Wikström, Still going along nicely. Has never quite managed to get her hands on a Ladies European Tour title. Wikström has been second a handful of times. Camilla Lennart as well, one of two Swedes up there. 7 under par alongside Escuriolo Martinez. Talking of Wikström, here she is, 8 under par. Now on the 11th.
They're the kind of receptive greens we've been used to seeing so far in the first 2 days. Another birdie chance coming up for Ursula.
Pettersson for birdie.
Slightly elevated green with the second on 11. Just a little hybrid fairway wood off the tee to a bit of a blind putting surface. Seemed to catch that one crisply off the face for Leanne Pace. So up and down required for par. Arthur Munoz has not made a bogey since the 12th hole of her first round. So a little touch required.
Excuse me.
I'm going to call that one a bit of a miss hit. I don't think that was exactly as planned. It's an amazing view, really, out on this 10th. Looking out over the water.
Yeah, my 3-year-old's somewhere on that beach, so I'm hoping we don't see a small blonde figure racing across the 10th green, or I may have to go and intervene. It's never out of the question. Hopefully being inspired by the quality of the golf. Oh, it's a beautiful part of the world, isn't it? A long way from home, Alison. How's the jet lag? You're okay?
I've been around for a while now, so I'm okay. Down the hill birdie chance for Siganda. I haven't seen too many putts hold from this side so far. A little left to right, if anything. She's been pretty solid on the green so far this week, Carlotta. 27 putts each of the days.
Pace for birdie, no.
Just seem to swipe across that one a little bit, if anything.
In 2010 was her big year on the Ladies European Tour. Won 5 times that season. Leanne Pace won the Order of Merit that year, Player of the Year award as well.
Very makeable putt. This for a right-hander. Not a lot of movement.
It's not dropping for her today so far.
Those were certainly the kind of putts that she was really capitalising on, particularly yesterday. almost scrapped it around on the front nine yesterday, trying to keep herself in the mix. She's got a good record on this back nine, though.
Oh, very nearly moving on to 9 under par.
I feel like Ursula Wikström is the living proof that golf balls don't always listen to body language, because she always tries to convince it, coax it into the hole.
Oh, another one. So close to dropping. Munoz then will slip back to 11 under.
And the stretch without a blemish ends at 34 holes for Arthur Munoz.
Segundo in for par. So the Spaniards alongside one another once more. Georgia Hall out in front now, all alone on 12 under par. Now, one of the legends of European golf, Trish Johnson, was in the field earlier this week, and we were lucky enough to sit down with the Englishwoman and talk about her career. She had a chat with Edgar Morse.
My whole life has been about sport. I'm defined by being a golfer. That's what I am, and I will be until the day I die. All the, the world has changed. I understand that totally. So, well, one, I still need to play golf because I need to earn a living. But I love playing. I love trying to win. It doesn't matter how many times you win. You've got more years of bad things happening clearly than you've had good, and that's why players don't get better putting and short game as they get older, because they have more memories of bad things happening. You don't get any less competitive because you get older. You just find it harder, and you have to find ways around that. But I'm no less competitive now than I was when I was, when I first turned pro. I want to win. I probably want to win more than I did back then.
Yourself and Laura Davis obviously came from a golden generation of golf. What do you think of the current generation that have come through? You've had Charlie Hull recently, I'm talking British golf specifically here, Georgia Hall recently. How do you view that, the sort of talent that's coming through now to the talent that came through when you broke through?
You have to say that until the likes of Charlie put that on their CV, then they're not up there. I mean, obviously because the way the world has changed, they're now superstars without being superstars yet. They have all the talent in the world, and Georgia, I think she will be a champion, big champion, because she wants it.
If you could change anything about golf, or not just women's golf more in general, i.e. it can be, the rules of the game or the speed of the game, or anything you really think you can put your finger on, what would be the sort of main change you would like to see that you think would make golf a better game?
The etiquette of the game has just gone out the window. No one gives a damn anymore about anybody but themselves. And that's the speed of the game. That's why the speed of the game is like it is. No one cares about anybody else waiting. It's unbelievable. And I think if we could change the speed of play, we'd have a whole different bunch of people wanting to watch golf and get involved in golf, because the speed of it is utterly appalling.
You said you still want to win. You're still very driven, determined to do well in golf. But what realistically are your career aims now in golf?
I'd like to get to 30 wins. I'd see that as, that's a pretty okay career from what, I need another 5, I think. If you include the Legends Tour events, which I do, because they're events and they're, they're championships. And actually some of those have been probably my most pleasurable, because they're playing against the superstars that made the LPGA what it is today. So yes, if I could get to 30 wins, and I think that's another 5, I'd see that as something to be, fairly proud of.
Trish Johnson talking to Edgar Morse. Interesting interview. Some strong opinions.
That's what Trish is known for. Incredible to say that 30 wins would be an okay career. Of course, Trish herself won the 2017 Senior LPGA Championship on the Legends in July earlier this year. So she's still adding to the title. And pace seems to be in a decent spot. Might have a tricky pitch coming up there, however. But isn't it nice to have someone that's so integral to the Ladies European Tour reflecting so honestly toward, well, I can't say the end of her career because obviously she's got so much left, but nice to hear her speaking about some of the young stars as well.
It's Valderi, the French woman. Played well this week. Yeah, and I think especially going back to the interview with Trish, when you have someone coming through like Georgia Hall, you have a player like Trish with so much experience, and she'll have seen so many good players come and go over the years that you have an accurate perspective of a player's potential, don't you? Would you agree with her assessment of Georgia?
Definitely. Yeah, I think no one on the Ladies European Tour is surprised that she's now on the world stage. I think we've all been anticipating it. She actually said it herself in a press conference in Dubai last year. She said, I think next year is going to be a really big year for me. Little did she know how many things that she'd cross off her goals list even within the first 8 months of this year. But she just has all of the ingredients of a good player. She's got a really simple mind. She knows herself, her own personality really well, along with her golf game. So all of those things are only going to add to her potential, of course.
Yeah, it's amazing when you that to-do list that you refer to, the goals that she set herself for 2017. Solheim Cup ticked off, top 50 in the world. She's done that. Ladies European Tour Order of Merit. We haven't even spoken about that today. She's in third place and probably with a good shout of winning that towards the end of the season, and then a first win on the LET as well. I assume she was referring to the LET in terms of that first win. And who knows, she could have done that by the end of the season as well. She's still got 2 or 3 events she'll play after this one here in Spain.
That was tracking like a bullet, that shot as well, straight at the pin. And that's what she does well, Georgia. When she's playing some good golf, she gives herself so many opportunities inside 20 feet at birdie. It's almost uncanny. They're currently, as he said, sitting in third, but behind Anna Nordqvist and In Kyung Kim, who might not end up getting the required amount of events, which has changed this year from 6 to 5, required to be able to be eligible to win that Order of Merit. So Georgia's sitting in a very good spot.
Yeah, both those players have played 3 currently, and Georgia's got a pretty healthy lead over those players just behind her.
Should just keep inching back. A little bit of a backstop there behind the whole location on 11. Nice to see Arthur finding some form as well. It's been a bit of an up and down year for her on the LPGA. She's made 5 of the last 6 cuts though.
Very nice. Päivi Pretsual-Asher. In fact, a birdie for Escuriolo Martinez, so heading in the right direction.
I feel like she might have got away with a bit of a bad strike there, Carlotta. Looked as though she took a little bit too much turf, but a very aggressive play off the tee on 11, 309 yards, and has obviously taken something pretty heavy off the tee to get that close.
to Leanne Pace, multiple winner on the LET. She's won on the LPGA as well.
Not exactly what the doctor ordered on a short par 4.
Former champion too, Leanne Pace, 2013, the year this tournament was held in Madrid. There's Valderi.
Winner on tour back in 2014 in Turkey, Val, but hasn't really kicked off as much as a few people may have anticipated. 79th on the order of merit this year.
Yeah, 4 over today, not happening for the Frenchwoman in terms of a third round, but played well on Thursday and Friday. Still very tight at the top. Pace 10 under in 4th. Sigandra and Munoz both 11 under par. Georgia Hall 12 under, 1-shot lead. Camilla Lennart's having a good day, isn't she, as well? I haven't seen too much of her so far, but tied for 5th alongside her fellow Swede Frida Kinhult at the moment. 5 under for her third round, Lennart.
A couple of nice rounds as well from Lena Newman-Park and Agathe Sazon, who had 2 eagles in a 67 today. Certainly noteworthy.
Hall for birdie to extend her lead. No, another one that just slips past.
She'll be the first person to say that she's quite impatient by nature. And it's times like those that you really just need to keep yourself in check, not try and get too far ahead of yourself.
Vikström with a long putt for eagle. Nicely judged. Sigandra with a chance to join Hall on 12 under par. Share of the lead.
Birdied 11 yesterday after getting a time warning on the 10th, which was a bit unlucky really. Her playing partners had had a little bit of trouble coming up 9. And it was a real springboard for her back 9 yesterday. Could it be the same situation on Saturday afternoon? Probably the toughest putt of all 3, despite being the closest here for Arthur.
Very nice. And all of a sudden, we have 3 players in a share of the lead. Munoz, Sigandra and Georgia Hall all on 12 under par now. Which means Leanne Pace has to play catch up a little now. 2 shots back, 10 under. All change then at the top of the leaderboard here at the Andalucía Costa del Sol Open de España. 3 players in a share of the lead. The 2 Spaniards, Sigandra and Munoz, and sandwiched in the middle there, Georgia Hall. pace, 2 shots back, 10 under par. Pair of Swedes, Lennart and Kinhult, tied for 5th at the moment, 9 under par, 3 shots off the lead. Jaime Pretzwell, Asher playing well today. The Scots climbing the leaderboard, tied for 7th alongside Escuriola Martinez and Ursula Wikström. And you referenced that round of 67, Alison, from the other Finn. Some of the players a little further down the leaderboard. Diana Luna and a share of the lead after the opening day's play. Val Derry going in the wrong direction today, started her day on 8 under par. Wikström keeps it going. She really does move around the course with some speed, doesn't she?
She is quite entertaining to watch, so I'm glad we're going to see a bit of her. She's a lovely girl, Ursula.
Ball drops and she's off.
She's hard to keep up with. And this is a part of the partnership that I've really enjoyed watching unfold between Carlotta Segunda and Terry McNamara, who of course spent over a decade on the bag for Annika Sorenstam. But Carlotta is a naturally aggressive player, and often when you have aggressive players and they get these really established caddies, then the caddies come and try and change their game plan. They try to scale it back and focus more on course management. What I think Terry has encouraged Carlotta to do is to embrace her aggression on the golf course and her attacking nature, but do it at the right times. I've really enjoyed that dynamic.
Let's see how she gets on here. Hasn't been the most successful hole for her so far this week.
Does love hitting a cut off the tee though, so that's going to help with the pin over on the right hand side, tucked behind that bunker. Better in the sand there than past it on the right hand side. Carlotta about 3 inches taller than Georgia, about 2 inches taller than Arthur, but surprisingly enough they're all about 10 yards apart off the tee. Carlotta the longest of the three, but only by a couple of paces from Georgia Hall, who's very effective with her size, particularly with her club head speed.
Likes it. Georgia Hall, the last to play. We will see exactly where the ball has landed in a few moments' time. Good crowds out following this group today. It's good to see. Many of those will be club members, I would imagine. Maybe a few British expats in the crowd as well, supporting Georgia Hall. A fair few of those in these parts. Quite a few holiday homes belong to the Brits in this part of Spain. Lovely put from Scoriolo Martinez. She's coming back.
Holding it together quite nicely, isn't she? Two-time winner on the LET Access Tour, as well as the one you mentioned earlier on this golf course on the Santander Tour.
Diana Luna in a tie for 10th. Fabulous putt. Seen that fist pump a few times over the years, haven't we? She's a great competitor, Diana.
35 years old and still as fiery as ever.
You were telling me enjoying the benefits of a child-free environment this week.
She certainly isn't used to getting 9 hours sleep, put it that way. So her caddy, Neil Carter, was joking when I was walking around with them during one of the practice rounds that her body's just not used to it. Maybe she should just give herself 4 or 5 hours each night and she'd stop yawning. It's a continual yawn the first 2 days, but it's nice to see her certainly taking advantage of feeling pretty good in this part of the world. It's hard not to. Earlier this year in Thailand, actually, Georgia Hall was over playing on the LPGA in a sponsor's invite, and I saw her out on the practice round, and we organised dinner together, and we were sitting in the host hotel, and we were looking around, and Carlotta Sagunda was sitting on the table next to us, and Arthur was sitting on the other one. And I said, "Do you know these girls?" And she said, "No." Well, I obviously know them, but I don't think they know who I am. And I introduced them to both, called them over because they're both good friends of mine, and said, "You'll probably be playing on the Solheim Cup with this player later this year." And sure enough, it came into fruition. And as we were leaving dinner, it's a very good shot there by Georgia, actually. Should pay mention. But as we were leaving dinner, Carlotta looked at me and she goes, "What was that girl's name again?" And I said, "Georgia Hall. I think you're going to know it by the end of the year." And here they are, all three of them playing together. Arthur, so gracious that night, actually invited Georgia to come and sit with them whenever that she saw them at lunch or dinner or whatever it was at the LPGA events.
Yeah, it's a nice touch, isn't it?
But hang on. Just finding one of the collection areas there.
Shadows starting to lengthen, just gone 3 o'clock local time in this part of the world. Just approaching that part of the day when the temperature is almost perfect. The sun loses a little bit of its heat. It's still pleasantly warm. Pretty good from Munoz. Further up the course, Liam Pace.
A really nice angle here into that left hole location on 13. And taking advantage of it. believe they've chosen to water a couple of the greens out on the golf course a little less this morning. They weren't holding up so well yesterday afternoon. We're getting quite chewed up, these bent grass greens. One of the best bunker players in the game, Saganda, and she delivers 100% on her sand save so far this week.
The Spaniards starting to turn on the style now. Just turning up the pressure on Georgia Hall. I mean, a win anywhere on the LET would be a great result for Georgia Hall, of course, this week, but would be even more impressive if she can hold off the likes of Saganda and Munoz over the last couple of days.
A bit of an unforced error there for Ursula.
Hall with a long putt for birdie. Looks like another par on the card. Leanne Pace for birdie. Can she move on to 11 under? She can. One off the leaders.
It just looks effortless at the moment, doesn't it, for Leanne? And that's dangerous for those three currently up the top of the leaderboard. With her now lurking just one back. Mind you, some chances to break free from that pack at 12 under par coming up.
This to move on to 13 under then. Yeah, no problems for Carlota Saganda.
Three birdies now in the last 4 holes. When you're a player that usually capitalizes on such momentum. She has 3 par 5s coming up as well in 15, 14, 17 and 18.
Yeah, she's played the best golf of the three over the last half an hour, 45 minutes or so. Leaderboard's starting to show that. Munoz responds. Spanish flag flying high here at Guadalmina. So Georgia Hall stays on 12 under. Now having to play catch up. Saganda and Munoz in a share of the lead.
Off the green for the par save. And it's going to be a dropped shot for Ursula Wikström.
Well, in this part of the world, of course, with two Spaniards at the top of the leaderboard, what better than to enjoy a bit of flamenco on the driving range?
Definitely not my thing, dancing, but I guess I don't have that much opportunity to do flamenco dancing, so I decided I'd take this chance while after I'd finished my practice, and quite enjoyed it actually. I don't think I'll be doing it frequently, but it was good fun. I like music and everything, but I wouldn't say I'm a natural dancer. I mean, I never took classes or anything. I think if the opportunity comes again, I'll know what to do. Meanwhile, I'll stick to the freestyle, make it up as you go dance.
Well, 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 what do you make of that, Alison?
I've seen a couple of their moves out on Sunday nights, and I think they're better at the end of play, perhaps, than they are at flamenco.
I think we give top marks to Insi Mehmet.
I believe.
Do you agree with that?
I think that she would take an A+ and run with it. Quite frankly, good for them all getting in the mood though,
Yeah,
and having a crack at it.
Top marks for having a go. So 13th tee. Having to back off twice there on the tee. Arthur and has ended up in the bunker, it seems. Quite a flat, shallow bunker. Runs all the way along the left-hand side of the 13, the driving area. Ranked inside the top 4 hardest holes on the golf course, 13. Don't tell Georgia Hall that. She's got a pretty good record here in the first 2 rounds. Down in the gravelly sand to that front left pin. Not the best angle that those 2 players are going to find themselves with. Pretzwell Asher in the sand on the 14th. Tied for 8th at the moment, with work to do there.
Decent little whistle there from Valderi. Well, I think the graphic still tells the story, doesn't it, of her Saturday.
Is this a test for Georgia Hall, this next hour or so coming up, with the Spaniards applying a bit of pressure?
Well, she hasn't had a birdie since the 5th hole, and I think she really needs one just to steady those nerves and try and stay within reach of the 2 Spanish stars.
It's the Mediterranean beyond the course here at Guadalmina. Let's bring you up to date with a live leaderboard. There's the evidence of the Spanish charge over the last half an hour or so. Sikander and Munoz now in a share of the lead, both on 13 under par. Georgia Hall one back, 12 under. Leanne Pace still in fourth, just a couple of shots off the lead, but playing some good golf of our own today. The Swedes still tied for fifth, Lennart and Kinhult, with Escuriolo Martinez, the Spaniard who enjoyed his share of the lead on Thursday night. She's playing well today too, moving back in the right direction after a frustrating day yesterday. Pamela Pretzel Asher 8 under, but in a spot of bother, as we saw. Vikström 2 still on the leaderboard.
Of course, one of the local rules on our Ladies European Tour hard card is that you can move stones in bunkers, so no infringement there from Arthur Munoz. I think he saw her throwing a couple of rocks out.
Pretzel Asher looking to stay on 8 under, but she will drop a shot. Just move back into a tie for 9th now, alongside Anne van Dam, who's not having a bad day. 2 under for her 3rd round. Van Dam from the Netherlands, winner on the LET last season down in China.
We actually had a quiz over dinner last night, and we've done it the last 2 evenings, and I'm staying with Hannah Burke, Vicky Lang and Flick Johnson this week, and every night we do a guessing game on how far Anne van Dam hit her drives and her driving average, and whoever gets the closest doesn't have to do the dishes. So last night that was Vicky Lang.
Vicky Lang did the dishes, or
she didn't
got
have
it right?
to. No,
okay.
she got the closest. Hannah, I think she picked about 315. Of course, Anne's average on day one was 299 off the tee. It was 298.5, so just a little bit worse yesterday. Really let herself down.
Terrible day.
She's an incredible talent, though, the Dutch woman, as is this woman on screen. Hard to get your mind around the fact she's still only 21 years old, Georgia Hall. She'll be next to play.
Yeah, the 3rd highest Englishwoman in the Rolex World Rankings now, Georgia Hall. Charlie Hull leading the way, 28 in the world at the moment, but not too far behind. Who has the more potential, do you think, between Charlie Hull and Georgia Hall? Tough question, I know, but is there a gut instinct that says one might have a slightly better career than the other?
I think Charlie's an incredible talent, and I think she flew under the radar a lot because she had so many second-place finishes on her rookie year on the Ladies European Tour, only won once in Morocco. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, it really does come down to wins on the board as well. You can be a great golfer and in contention so many times, but Georgia's still looking for a win on the major tours around the world, even though she's been so influential in the majors already this year. That was so good. Didn't really check up, as we've seen a couple of shots really on 13 now, starting to release a little bit from that front edge back toward the middle of the green. Settle down. Very nice. About all you can do with an angle like that, hitting back across the face of the pin, really. Well played.
To rejoin Diana Luna, 7 under par for the tournament. It's a great shot from the Italian.
Around about 285 off the tee from Siganda. Tough angle though from the rough. Didn't tell her that though. Always plays at a very high intensity, Carlotta. Almost feel like it's always the final round for her.
Our first look at Megan McLaren, young English woman.
Three over for her round so far for the 23-year-old. Had a chance there perhaps to peg one back.
Megan McLaren, one of the players you said to keep an eye on at the start of the week. Alison, for what reason? Something you like about her game?
She's currently leading the Order of Merit on the LET Access Tour. She's had 2 wins, one as an amateur, one as a pro out on that tour. And I think we're really yet to see much of her. She's only played 1 event on the main tour so far. And I think she could be another one from England to keep an eye on.
Perfect afternoon down in the south of Spain, Costa del Sol, Marbella, around 10 kilometers away or so. Malaga just beyond. World famous Puerto Banús, not too far away, around 10 or 15 minutes drive from this golf course. Somewhere over there in the distance, the super yachts. Which of this trio can make their move over the last hour or so of this third round here in Spain?
They really are travelling toward the scoring end of this golf course. 3 par 5s in the last 5 holes.
Diana can't make the most of that opportunity. She's a feisty competitor, isn't she? Wears her heart on her sleeve.
She's almost the classic Italian golfer in a way. Always throwing her hands around when she's frustrated. And it's nice to see that after so long on tour, she still plays with so much passion. And quite a bit of work left to do for Arthur now to save par on 13. Currently 17th on the Order of Merit this year, Arthur Munoz.
World ranking of 79.64 on the LPGA money list as we jump back to Pretzel Asher.
Pammy, one of probably the most consistent players out on the Ladies European Tour. 13 top 10s to her career record. Now, a chance for Hall.
It's been that kind of day for the 21-year-old. Still looks pretty unfazed, not getting too frustrated.
She seemed to get a little antsy on her back nine yesterday. Got a little frustrated. I noticed her body language really changed, and that's something that doesn't usually happen to Georgia. She's usually very consistent in nature. Needs to work on that this afternoon.
Megan McLaren tidies up with the putter. McLaren in a tie for 16th alongside Nicole Garcia, Gabriella Cowley, Suzanne Petterson. Can Siganda move out in front? Not this time. Up on 14, Leanne Pace. Just one shot back from Georgia Hall now. Sorry, Alison, go on.
No, very good looking swing there from Leanne. Ever fluid. You have to wonder if she's going to try and fight her way into that final group tomorrow.
Munoz to stay in his share of the lead. No problems. So it's a slightly louder roar when the ball drops for Munoz, isn't it, than Siganda?
It's certainly louder than Georgia Hall's cheers, I can tell you that much, but she needs a little rent-a-crowd out there for tomorrow, maybe.
Very nice from Sang Chan.
After a very tidy 64 yesterday, equal to that of Arthur Munoz. Started off today 3 over par through 9 holes, however, trying to claw it back.
Let's take a look at the live leaderboard. Just after 3:30 local time, day 3 of our live coverage here in Andalusia. And it's the Spaniards dominating, Siganda and Munoz. Still in the share of the lead, still on 13 under par. Georgia Hall just one shot back, having enjoyed a 2-shot lead at one stage earlier today. Stand corrected, a 3-shot lead at one stage, in fact, before we came on air.
Tiny little pitch there from Valderi. The first par 5 on this back 9. 14th. Plays 481 yards. And that's not a bad leave up that left-hand side as well. It does open up the green quite nicely for Siganda. There's a bunker down on that right-hand side. That's in play. It's about 220 off the tee. 257 to carry. There's certainly plenty of fairway over to the left-hand side. Everything moving the ball from right to left once it hits the fairway as well.
Played well on the 14th. Thursday and Friday, Munoz. Confident tee shot.
She seemed a little out of sorts, actually, with her swing earlier in the week. Flick Johnson and I were looking at some footage of her, and she seemed to be kind of popping her hips. She's not doing that at all today. Swinging very smoothly for eagle. That would have shot Leanne Pace into a tie for the lead if it had dropped. Of course, chances coming up for the group behind in Hall, Segunda and Munoz, but it was on track for a very long time.
Yeah, she's just going about her business, perhaps benefiting from playing in a different group today from Munoz, and Segunda can just focus on her own game.
Scurriola Martinez on 15, 153 yards to the pin today. A little lackluster effort really there.
Still not that much of a breeze, is there, today? We thought it might pick up a bit this afternoon, but further you go away from the coast, calmer it gets. It's a long, thin layout, the 10th hole, running alongside the ocean. The clubhouse is quite far inland, actually, isn't it? Couple of miles, maybe 3 miles or so.
Yeah, nice tee shot there from Luna. Didn't look confident on that one, did she? But it is, as you mentioned, Leah, quite an interesting layout here where the 10th tee is actually around about 3 miles from the clubhouse. So logistically, it's been quite difficult for the players to try and work out how much time to leave because they have to catch a shuttle out to the 10th tee by the water. And the course feeds its way down the hill under the motorway. And they've got about 6 holes out in the far paddock, if you will, down by the beach.
Birdie for Pace. Moves alongside Georgia Hall now, 12 under par in the mix.
Opting for the flat stick here from just off the fringe. And a very tidy effort there from Natalia Scurriola Martinez. Just in the first cut of rough on the left side for Georgia Hall, but certainly the correct side to miss if you want to open up the angle to the green. There is a couple of bunkers down on the right-hand side up green side, but we'll see that in a moment. Huge breaking putt here for Deanna Luna. That double bogey she took on the 7th on the reachable par 5 really kind of unravelled her day in a way. Just hard to let go of things like that, particularly on a golf course where par 5s are so attackable.
Tied for 9th as it stands. Hasn't been the best of days for Georgia Hall, is it, when you compare her golf to the quality she found on Thursday and played well yesterday?
65, 67, and just level par today. Like the look of it. She's been doing everything right, though, really. When you look back at the last, say, 5 or 6 holes, she's continually giving herself chances at birdie, but they're just shying by today when they weren't on Thursday and Friday.
I should mention Camilla Lennart as well, who's in 5th place all alone now. 10 under, in fact, so only 3 off the lead. The young Swede. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of her tomorrow. Currently playing the 18th. She's birdied 14, 15, 17. No drop shots today for the Swede. In fact, that round of Lennart's looks at the moment like it could be the round of the day, doesn't it? If she was par the last or even birdie it, could be a round of 65 for the Swede. A couple of 67s so far today.
Just an iron required after a monstrous drive. Maybe 1 iron less. Not the worst spot to be, though, past this pin, given the whole location today. Carlotta will almost have a backstop coming from the rear end of the green.
Took a couple of the members by surprise.
I'm surprised they didn't take a bullet for her, really. Jump in front of the ball. There's a couple of people that would have tried. I know she's got some close friends out there, along with her family that we talked about earlier.
Leanne Pace, 12 under par now.
That just clipped the tree on the right-hand side as well, and that's just short over by the rake on the edge of the bunker there. Those trees do really cut in quite a bit, actually, on some of the tee shots here at Godalmina.
Still very tight at the top. Just to remind you of the standings, top of the leaderboard, Sigand and Munoz alongside one another on 13 under. Pace and Hall both on 12 under. Here's Vikström on 8 under. 8th place at the moment.
Going to get a really nice look at the little walk and pitch that Georgia Hall has ahead of her. This green, if anything, it does have a tendency to release from the front to the back, and you'll see her just walking down a small slope there around about the area of the whole location today. It's almost like 3 sections, this green, the back left, back right, and a couple of ridges running through, almost like a bit of a steering wheel, really. So a little bit of touch required.
It's Leanne Pace of that quartet with the most experience of winning on the Ladies European Tour. A couple of titles for Carlotta Siganda, 4 for Munoz, 9 for Pace. 5 back in 2010, 3 in 2013.
Land on that top ridge. Let it roll down. It should keep going. And a touch of class there for the youngster. Made that look easy, and I can assure you that it wasn't.
As a second on the CV, Georgia Hall, Abu Dhabi last year, towards the end of the season.
Really just got blown over that week by Beth Allen, who threw a 64 in the mix. Hard to beat those kind of numbers. From a pretty lackluster lie, I'm going to give that nearly an A+.
I think she'd settle for that.
She will if it goes in for birdie. Job's not done yet. Awkward stance here for Leanne Pace, however.
Work to do for the South African. Back to Munoz.
Up to this slightly elevated green from where she's chipping. Just seemed to catch that one a little bit heavy. The first signs of any nerves coming through for Arthur.
Ursula Wikström looking to move to 9 under. Siganda then. And Munoz still in a share of the lead. Perhaps Carlotta just with a slight opportunity here. Just be able to shake Azza off. Back there in a moment. Here's Pace. That putt for par, no. Drop shot for the South African. Back to an 11 under. Another player hasn't really got going today. 1 under for third round, Leanne Pace. How about that? The locals liking that one.
We talk about the intangible changes that happen when you're in contention in regard to momentum. That's a big one there for Arthur Munoz after a bit of an unforced error really on the chip. Being able to make it up with the putt, she'll be able to shake that off pretty quickly. That one will feel good.
And it might just help release a bit of tension as well, which is so important this kind of stage of the tournament. See whether Sikander can respond. Well, 5 minutes ago it was looking like Sikander who might be out in the lead all on her own, but a different story now. Munoz out onto 14 under, back to Luna. Fourteenth hole, Georgia Hall. She's finally going to get a birdie on the card.
Were aimed so far left on that putt. She was set up for a real left to right break and just seemed to swipe across it. You can see there, club face open, just not releasing the toe of the putter through.
First slightly negative body language from Georgia Hall. Perhaps just starting to get the feeling that Spaniards are starting to move away from her, particularly Azahara Munoz after that wonderful putt on 14. She now has a one-shot lead. Sikander in second, 13 under. Georgia Hall now 2 off the lead, 12 under par. Leanne Pace has just dropped a shot 2, so that means she's 3 off the lead of Munoz now. About Camilla Lennart's fabulous round today. Currently playing the 18th, but 6 under for her third round today. So one of the best performers out on the golf course, no doubt about that, on day 3 here in Andalusia. Suzanne Pettersen tied for 17th after a good opening day. Struggled over the last couple of days, the Norwegian. Tied for 19th, Isabella Ramsey, another sweet. Gabriella Cowley, Sang Chan after that 64 yesterday. Florentina Parker tied for 24th. Of course, she was the winner the last time we were in Spain on the Ladies European Tour in Sitges, just outside Barcelona in April. Another player here in the field, Florrie Parker, who represented the Europeans in Solheim Cup. Get back to some live golf. Diana Luna looking to move to 8 under. So can Munoz build on that birdie on the 14th? Par 3 this 15th.
A 7-iron for Arthur. Sat down nice and quick.
Escariolo Martinez far away from moving on to 10 under.
Dropped a shot on the second hole, but since then he's had 4 birdies on the card.
23 years of age, just north of Valencia on the east coast. Sikander up next.
Hard 8-iron in hand for Carlotta. Probably around about half a club to a club longer than her two playing partners with her irons.
Two off the lead now, Hall.
Just leaking right a little bit. Well, not a lot. Pretty handy. So a chance perhaps to just get that birdie, the first birdie of the back nine.
That's a good response, isn't it, mentally, after that shortish birdie putt that she missed on 14.
Really nice drive for Leanne Pace, setting up good angle, which is all important here for Goromina. Drawing it in, and very lovely indeed. Nice response from the dropped shot on 15.
Yeah, batted 13 of 14, Leanne Pace, before encountering a spotter bother on the 15th, so she'll be looking to finish strongly. A few moments to look back on some of the highlights that Asa Munoz has produced today, day 3 here in Andalusia. A good couple of opening days, hasn't it, for the Spaniard? Set the foundation moving into the weekend. Dropped a shot on the 10th, picked up a birdie on the 11th. Here she is on the 12th. Birdied the 12th as well. And this was a few moments ago, the putts that dropped on 14.
Certainly going to help the putting stats. That one from off the green. Imagine that's going to be one of the highlights at the end of the day. Also.
Yeah, she's built some good momentum, Munoz, over the last half an hour. We were talking about Siganda's momentum, weren't we, about an hour ago. But 3 birdies inside 4 holes around the turn.
That was the first of the 3 birdies on the 9th. Made par on 10. This on the 11th. Never in doubt, although Munoz, of course, did follow her in. Georgia Hall not able to make it her birdie on 11. And a little sandy up and down required on the short par 4 12th hole after being greenside with her drive. Knocked that one in as well. And then from over the back on the par 5 14th from a pretty tricky lie, setting up a birdie chance. And made it 3 birdies in 4 holes. Not to be, however. That one missed, and another one coming up here on 15.
Looking to join Munoz then, 14 under. In for par.
Starting to get the feeling maybe that in the next, say, 2 or 3 holes, if Georgia's really going to contend with the likes of Uther and Carlotta going into tomorrow, she really needs to make a birdie pretty quickly. Ursula Wikström. Just left
left that one short.
Based out of Kaiman Golf Club back in Finland.
Munoz will be hoping to use this momentum that she's built to try and pull away from Sigander and Hall.
It's just at that time of the day as well where the shadows are starting to fall across the hole. That very hard to read.
On pace for birdie, no. Perhaps a missed opportunity there for the South African. Would have put a level with Georgia Hall here, not to be. Englishwoman with a chance to move to 13 under. If this drops, no.
Seem to take a couple of bobbles halfway through that putt.
A couple of birdies on the card earlier today, the 3rd and the 5th, but it's been a while, hasn't it, since one of those birdie putts disappeared for Hall. Vikström looking to tidy up for par, yeah.
And off she goes. I remember talking to Ursula actually earlier in the year about her walking pace, and she's only a couple of kilometres off an actual speed walker when she walks normally. Funny enough, and she got it measured because we were joking about it, and I honestly think she's only about 2 or 3 kilometres off almost Olympic pace. Of course, an Olympian in her own right, but
there you go. An alternative career.
That's it.
Waiting to happen. Always
Maybe
good to have one of those.
Something for the winters in Finland.
And Van Dam looking to hold a par putt, not to beat. Remind ourselves of the live leaderboard, day 3, coming towards the end of the 3rd round here in Andalucía. Asa Munoz still with a 1-shot lead, 14 under par over Carlota Sigander on 13 under par. On to the 16th.
Dogleg left, 351 yards, a couple of bunkers down on that right-hand side, so draw required from the tee would be ideal. So many little dog legs on this golf course.
As you said, a couple of par 5s to finish, so still could see a little bit of movement at the top of the leaderboard, the closing half hour or so. Of the trio, that would favour Carlota, would you say?
Definitely, but I do think that when you look at, you know, the attacking nature of Georgia's game as well, if she can just peg the leaders back a little bit, it's going to be so important for her going into the final round. And it's not often with 3 holes to play in round 3 you think, you know, with these 3 players all 1 shot different, that it really is anyone's game. A couple of eagle chances even maybe coming up. Oh, sitting a little draw, Georgia. This hole sets up nicely for her.
Yeah, she eagled the 18th on day one, wasn't it? I think Thursday. That will be in the back of her mind as she steps onto the 18th tee. Wonderful second shot on that occasion.
Not surprising to see Arthur Munoz in the mix again, given that it's actually the same course designer this week at Guadalmina than it was in Aloha, where she won last year, Javier Arana. Another one of our little quizzes we had last night over dinner, talking about a few of his designs and his background. We'll get to that in a minute.
Pretzel Asher.
A long way to go there for birdie still for Pammy.
Sizable crowd following the final group. I mentioned the designer here, the course architect, Javier Arana, and his story is an interesting one, actually. So he was quite a good golfer in the early 1900s, and then he went to the 1926 Amsterdam Olympics for sailing and broke his mast on his way to a medal, ended up not medaling, quit sailing, and took up golf architecture. So I think a few people in this part of the world are happy that he did just that. Nice little shot there from Marion Ricciardo. Just checking that one up nicely. Tie for 32nd, the Frenchwoman at the moment. Started the week fairly strongly. 3 over for her third round. Camilla Lennart, who we were talking about a little while ago, around a 66 today, so she's in a tie for 5th alongside Frida Kinhult of Swedish amateurs. Had a very good day of her own, 67. Some good golf from the Swedes on the leaderboard. Suzanne Pettersson. A couple of majors on the CV, former world number 2. Solheim Cup regular over the years, but as we mentioned earlier, that back injury forced her to pull out of Solheim, so took around 5 weeks off. Played Evian, final major of the year. This second tournament back, so perhaps would have had realistic ambitions this week. Maybe more about just trying to find a game competitive edge coming here to Spain.
Not the easiest shot here from the sand, though, on 17. Hard to tell if the tree will be in the way on the way back for Suzanne.
Now back to the final group. Munoz and Hall jostling for supremacy towards the top of the leaderboard.
There it is. Pretty handy.
Georgia Hall second. Another good result. When you're coming towards the end of this kind of round, if you're Georgia Hall, do you almost need one of those putts to drop just to get the monkey off the back in some ways before you come out tomorrow, so that's not in the back of your mind?
I think watching them drop on the golf course in the last few holes is much easier than going and working on your putting after your round. It gives you a different kind of confidence. As with that shot there for Rafa Munoz.
Striding confidently towards the green. Tournament leader, 14 under par. Our first look at Olivia Cowan representing Germany, 7 under par, birdie on 16, birdie on 17. Looks like it'll be 3 in a row. It's moving her up the leaderboard. Under par. Round of 69 today.
Should put her in one of the last couple of groups going out tomorrow. Always good for the experience. But who will end up in this final group? The question that will be answered over the next half hour or so. Interesting, the contrast between the posses, if you will, of Segunda and Munoz, when Georgia Hall is actually, she's staying in an apartment with another player. And one of the billets that Lauren Taylor had last year, an Irish woman. And she's just kind of out there on her own at the moment. She's got a local caddy. She's quite a self-sufficient player by nature and person, really. When she steps off the golf course. But it's certainly a tall task trying to win your first event on the LET against names like these in their home country.
Georgia Hall up first then for birdie. Well, a familiar story for the Englishwoman. Just got to try and manage the frustration over the last couple of holes.
She had a Inbee Park's caddy, Brad Beecher, on her bag last week in Evian, and it's moments like these that the experience of those caddies really does help. You know, just keeping her settled. We believe Suzanne Pedersen's back there somewhere. Oh, surely.
Oh, too good.
How about that? Could barely even see her. Just saw the sparkle of her shoes, didn't you?
Oh, some result for Pedersen. Hasn't been the best of days by her high standards, but dinner might taste just a little bit better after that. Sigander next then in the final group. Can she move to 14 under? She can. Turns up the pressure on Munoz. It's turning into a fantastic battle between these two Spaniards. Can Munoz respond now? Groans of disappointment from the army of Munoz fans. But a bit of breathing space for the Spaniards now, both 14 under par. Georgia Hall 2 back now, 12 under par. Leanne Pace 11 under par. Still out on the course. There's confirmation of the live leaderboards here at Guadalmina. It's going to be a good day tomorrow. Big Spanish crowd.
It's rare that you can write on your scorecard when you've still got your glove on. Unlikely for there.
Just a couple of holes to play then for the final group. A couple of par fives to come before we can wrap up day 3 here at Guadalmina. It's just to give you a quick reminder of the leaderboard after events on the 16th hole. Sigander and Munoz alongside one another now, both 14 under par. Georgia Hall 2 back, 12 under par. Leanne Pace still there or thereabouts, ready to strike tomorrow perhaps if the South African can put together a good round of golf. Fabulous stuff from Lennarts and Kinhult, the two Swedes today. Lennart with a round of 66, the amateur. Kinhult with a 67. And good stuff from Escuriolo Martinez as well, one of the joint leaders at the end of day 1. She's bounced back today, 9 under par for the tournament, still out on the course. Fabulous 69 for Olivia Cowan, up to 8 under par alongside Ursula Wikström. Diana Luna just squeezing onto that leaderboard graphic, tied for 10th, 7 under par. Spaniards deserve that lead in some respects. They've played just a slightly better golf than Georgia Hall today. Could have been such a different story had 4 or 5 of those putts dropped for Georgia today.
Completely. I think if you'd told me at the start of the day that 3 under would be the best score in that final group after 16 holes, I'm not sure I would have believed you, just with the amount of opportunities that there are, particularly on the back 9 And these girls are all playing really good golf at the moment, and it's an attackable golf course where you can fire at pins because the greens are still very receptive despite all of the sunshine baking them out.
Tiana Luna with some work to do. Par 5 17th. Just turning into a bit of a bottleneck out on the course.
Still has a reasonable amount of green to work with though, Luna. Pins in the back middle today. Bit of an offensive bounce really, wasn't it? Little cross-country golf required.
Luna playing alongside Escuriolo Martinez and Megan McLaren today.
Yeah, McLaren, another one of those players capable of throwing out a low round. Shot a 65 earlier this year at the Bossies Ladies Championship on the LET Access Tour. So another one still not to count out, but just let a couple slide really today. Just level par, but fighting back. 3 consecutive birdies for her.
It's a lovely shot from the Englishwoman. 8th in the rookie standings, incidentally, this season. So a decent finish tomorrow could enable her to kick on. Jenny Hagland leading the way in the rookie standings, the young Swede, incidentally.
Go.
It almost went.
It did. Not bad from the 29-year-old Welsh woman, Lydia Hall. It's good to see her actually back out playing well. She's had a couple of back issues in the last, say, 2 or 3 months. So good to see that it's seemingly feeling okay.
Spaniards having a chat.
Well, they're good friends as well. Arthur and Carlotta, they grew up playing golf together. They went to the same university over in the USA, both graduates from Arizona State out in Phoenix.
This is Vikström with her second on the 17th.
Exactly what you don't want to do, really. Leave yourself an awkward distance from one of the fairway bunkers on the left of 17. So much room, really, to miss it out toward the right.
Leanne Pace in the same group. Val Derry is the third member of that trio. Penultimate group on the course.
Turning over. Perhaps giving the bag a little bit of a scare there. I think that's when you say, whoops, didn't think I'd hit it that far.
Further up the 17th, Escuriolo Martinez. Looking like easily her best Ladies European Tour finish, whatever happens in the next half hour or so, assuming she has a good day tomorrow. Luna with a long birdie putt. One under for her third round. Charged up the leaderboard late in the day on Thursday. Surprised a few of the bigger names in the field.
Nice to see she took her own little golf club out there. Inspired, perhaps. One of the aim point users, Megan McLaren. That's what she was doing, straddling the line, and using your feet to test the break of the putt.
Works a treat.
So that makes it 4 birdies in a row for the young English woman.
So, to get her adventure on the 17th underway, Carlotta Ciganda.
We talk in golf about non-linear players. There's some players that really do, you know, plod from tee to green in the straightest line possible. She is the opposite of that. Rarely thinks in straight lines. Very expressive golfer, if you will.
It's the end result for Munoz. Scuriola Martinez with a fair share of support out on the fairways today too. Georgia Hall, 17th tee. Can she make something happen over these last couple of holes?
She set up for a draw and it just leaked right, but I think it's just kicked left off that tree. If there's a side to play this hole from, it's certainly the right-hand side. Sweeps all the way from right to left toward the green. Slightly uphill. Merely a formality for someone of Deanna Luna's ability.
Back with Pettersson on the 18th.
She and her husband, Christian, staying in one of their family houses here in Marbella this week, so quite comfortable in this part of the world. I think that might have factored into perhaps her scheduling, choosing to come here after Evian as well, over in France.
Yeah, it's a nice fit in that respect, isn't it? Leading players in the world are in this region.
She knew straight away, Ursula, that was going to be long. I think caught a little bit more golf ball than she'd anticipated. You'll know watching her.
Just needs to have a word with Suzanne Pettersson.
Oh, and then the shoulders go down. But she's up and running. 1 under par for the round so far today. A little bit of creativity required up around the green.
Yeah, she's come close a few times, hasn't she, Ursula Wikström? 2008 Finnair Masters, she came second. 2009 in France, she was second. A couple of times in 2012, Turkey and the Netherlands, and then again in the Netherlands, tied second. 2015, never quite managed to get her hands on a trophy.
So 5 weddings and 5 bridesmaids' dresses.
Five bouquets, but no trophy.
Interesting to see Leanne Pace with putter in hand. We'll go back to that in a second.
On the 18th. A lovely shot from the Scot. Smile on the face.
We were joking the other day with her new golf bag, of course, being married around about a month ago, I think. Hammy Pretzwell-Asher, how many extra letters did she have to buy on a tour staff bag? Could they fit it all in on the back pocket?
Leanne Pace taking her time. Knows if she can finish strongly, really apply a bit of pressure at the top of the leaderboard on the 2 Spaniards, Sigander and Munoz.
And up and down here would get her within 2. Of course, being a par 5. To absolutely fly off the putter face. Interesting decision, really, to not try and pitch the ball halfway and let it release out toward the back pin. Maybe it didn't have the best lie. Not the worst lie, given the shape of the hole requiring a draw. Ball above Uther's feet here will help that ball shape from right to left, if she can get a stance, that is. She's actually been doing a couple of those drills with her left foot forward, so that might help her in this instance.
Just next to that tree.
Her foot might have slipped a little bit. No, it just couldn't quite move with the slope, almost turned into it a little bit there, leaving the club face open. It's not really the time on the golf course that you want to have a wait on the 17th when you're going into 2 par 5s. You've got some momentum under your belt, particularly for Sigander after making that birdie back on 16. Seems like quite a while ago now.
The figure of Wickstrom hidden behind the tree. Remember, Patterson hold from here. Oh, that wasn't far away.
It would have been a pretty cheeky fall, wouldn't it?
It's the kind kind of neighbourhood this course winds its way through. Back towards the clubhouse. A few other facilities here as well, tennis and paddle tennis, a couple of swimming pools next to the clubhouse. Nice way to spend an afternoon for the local members. Struck it firmly. Tell from the body language she's disappointed with the result, though. Here on the 17th. Vikström looking to save par. No. Up on 18, Suzanne Pettersson looking to finish her third round in style. Mighty close to a decent end to her round. Well, it's going from bad to worse. Would you believe that? Shake of the head, not surprisingly. Level par round of 72 for Pettersson. Back in a tie for 16th.
After being down in front of the green in 2, Leanne Pace walks away with a 5 on 17. Still 3 shots off the lead. Currently held by this woman and Arthur Munoz. Waiting for the green to clear.
Yeah, it's a test of concentration so far, this 17th for the final group, isn't it? It's felt like they've been on this hole for some time now. Challenge of whether they can keep it together mentally, just stay in the zone over these last 15 minutes.
The length, but she's also got a decent short game. So advantage Siganda with Arthur over in the right trees.
Bratswell Asher. Birdie at the par 5 18th. For a round of 70 today. 7 under par.
On track maybe for a 14th career top 10. Pammy.
Yeah, just tied for 10th at the moment with Luna Vikström. It's the ball of Munoz. Back there in a moment is Luna. Second on 18. Italian should be happy with that one. What are the challenges here, Alison?
Wood. I think that's the main way to put it. Really, you know, with these kind of shots, it's the only thing that really trips you up is if you do catch something on your backswing, and then that just throws everything out on your follow through. Probably aiming over by that 17 TV tower. Just try and hit to the heart of the green, putt to the pin.
That'll do. Sigh of relief for Munoz. Last thing she would have wanted is a blemish on the scorecard on 17, lose all your momentum, bit of confidence going into the last. Megan McLaren, who's been flying of late. 4 successive birdies.
Not the worst spot to miss it over on the left-hand side, but you can see not so happy with that.
Back to the final group, Georgia Hall. Her third. Well, she'll do well to make birdie from there. But still plugging away. She's got to keep believing, hasn't she? Try not to too disappointed or down about the missed opportunities today. Fresh start tomorrow.
Second shot for Escuriola Martinez, iron in hand again. It's only 475 yards, the 18th, and the team's actually moved up, I believe, yesterday. So it is a very attackable par 5, as we've been seeing. Already 3 eagles on 18 today. Putting from off the fringe. It's almost right on the crest there on a high point, and it will be downhill. Should just sweep all the way right to left down towards the pin.
Well short.
Something that we see Europeans do a lot more of, putting from the fringes. I think, you know, US-based golf and Asian-based golf, because they're used to grainier greens, they're more inclined to pull wedges from those kind of areas. Very nice from the sand, from the player that's on track to win the Order of Merit on the LAT Access Tour, feeder tour to the Ladies European Tour, Megan McLaren.
Yeah, I bet she wishes she could keep going this afternoon.
Certainly moving in the right direction. 4 in a row and a chance for 5 in a row coming up.
Hall for birdie. Is it going to be the longest of the lot that disappears? No. She have the type of personality that allows her to put this day to one side?
I think so. I wonder with Georgia sometimes if she actually knows how good she is. I think that's something that has held her back in the past and being a little bit tentative in those final rounds instead of just absolutely flooring it pedal to the metal.
We'll find out tomorrow, won't we? Company of Sikander, Munoz, Leanne Pace as well. Be a good test for Georgia. Let's see whether she can grasp the opportunity, rise to the occasion. Munoz then, joint leader, 14 under.
Yet to see someone hit that putt hard enough, are we? Very slow up that hill from right to left.
Can Deanna finish with a flourish? Well, looking good for the birdie. And still looking like it's going to be a good week for the Italian. Round of 70 today. 8 under par. Tied for 9th. Camilla Lennart on that leaderboard in the distance, still with the best round of the day, 66 from the young Swede. Oh yes, Carlotta. Makes a move.
I wonder if her dad, Jesus, is wearing his lucky shirt. He had a lucky shirt on yesterday, he said, from St Andrews. I hope he's washing it for tomorrow afternoon's round.
Nice little fist clench from Sikander. Edges ahead. Well, Megan McLaren. That's some incredible golf towards the end of her third round. 5 birdies in a row. Should be brimming with confidence when she steps out on the course tomorrow. Another youngster who it'll be very interesting to watch. And a good day for Escoriolo Martinez as well. 4 under round of 68 today.
She's done well, hasn't she? After such an incredible opening round. Keeping herself in the mix.
Let's have a look at what it all means on the live leaderboard. Carlotta Sikander with the outright lead now, 15 under par. Birdie on the 17th, just edging her 1 shot clear of fellow Spaniard Azahara Munoz, 14 under. Georgia Hall just hasn't got going today, really, particularly over the back 9, 12 under par, so 3 off the leader. Sikander now, Leanne Pace back on 11 under. There she is. Now on the par 5 18th. gives the South African an opportunity to strike a blow.
What happens on 18 all depends on the drive. Just a slight dog leg left to right, but out of bounds left, out of bounds right. And not a lot of room for error, really. Always likes to hit a low cut, which will set up nicely here. That's just bounding down the fairway. Maybe chances to extend her lead coming up. A little bit of a right to left draw for most of the day. It's a bit of an awkward tee shot. You see Arthur moving her ball, her tee, over to the left-hand side to play for that a little bit more.
Said earlier you're a bit surprised that none of this trio's really made a move. Do you come off the course feeling frustrated, or are you just relieved in a sense that you're still up there in the mix and that no one else has?
Well, I think it really does kind of depend on how this last hole finishes out, because eagle's up for grabs here. It's rare that you say, you know, that things can change so late in the game, but Georgia Hall, eagle par on this hole, all of a sudden she's one back going into a final round. So still all to play for here in Marbella.
Yeah, and I suppose that puts a very different complexion on things mentally, doesn't it? If you finish with, even if you're Georgia Hall after the day she's had, if you finish with an eagle, then all of a sudden life is sweet.
Dinner tastes pretty good, I can tell you. Up ahead on the green. Eagle putt. Back down the slope for Leanne Pace. If anything, maybe a little left to right. Again, gave it a very good chance. It's something she's been doing better than the other three players in the top four, I think. Today she's given a lot of putts chances at it, whereas you know, Segunda Munoz, in particular Georgia Hall, have been leaving a couple of putts short or dying kind of at the hole, which isn't so good on these greens that are probably starting to get a little bumpy this time of night. Don't tell Valderi that though.
Making it look very easy. It's been a bit of a rough one for Val, in truth. We're at a 76. Change in fortunes after a couple of good days on Thursday and Friday. One-time winner on the Ladies European Tour in Turkey 2014. Pace moved to 12 under. She can. Closes the gap a touch on the leader Segunda. 3 back as it stands. Well within striking distance, a player of her quality on the final day. Fickstrom. Shortish birdie putt. Disappears for a round of 71. And 8 under for the Finn. Good enough for a share of 9th. races off.
She's almost like a cartoon character in the nicest sense of the word.
So the final chapter of day 3 here at Guadalmina. Georgia Hall in picture. 3 shots off the leader, Saganda. Do with a bit of magic here. Saganda with a 1-shot advantage over fellow Spaniard Munoz, the local. Pace and Hall both on 12 under. Camilla Lennart, Frida Kinholt and the Escuriola Martinez all on 10 under par. She's given herself an opportunity.
When you're not having a good putting day, hitting par 5s in 2 really helps.
Ready with the flag.
She would have inspired so many junior golfers in this area. Such a generous player by nature as well, no doubt. Playing with the next generation whenever she's home.
That will do nicely. The locals approve.
It's a beautiful, natural amphitheatre, really, isn't it, as well? The 18th, no grandstands required. People will be flooding in there tomorrow afternoon to try and get a glimpse of maybe a home winner here.
All eyes on Saganda then.
She doesn't have a lot of club in hand. It looks like maybe an 8-iron at most. An eagle putt coming from below the hole. Yeah.
So all 3 on the 18th green. Provides a fitting climax to this 3rd round. It's been nip and tuck all the way with these 3. Hall initially was out in front, had a pretty healthy lead, didn't she, in the front 9. Gradually the Spaniards found their rhythm and range, started to reel her in and played the slightly better golf over the last hour and a half.
It's been all pars from Georgia Hall since that double bogey on 8. And that's something you can't really afford to do on a back 9 like this. You know that people are going to stretch out in front of you.
Yeah, I'm flicking down the scores today. Very few have failed to make at least one birdie on the back 9. But she can put that right on this final green. All set up for a thrilling finale, that's for sure. As it stands, only a shot separating Siganda and Munoz. I mean, locals couldn't have hoped for anything better at the start of the week. Munoz and Siganda very much in the limelight as the leading Spaniards. They've delivered really thus far.
Neither of these two players are the kind of player that get vibed on a last day either. They're the ones that both know how to win. Both won on the Ladies European Tour. Both won on the LPGA as well. Fiery competitors in their own right.
And it always has an extra edge, doesn't it, when there's two players from the same country. Regardless of how good their relationship might be, I'm sure they still like to outdo one another.
It's still golf. They still want to win.
Especially the case on home soil, of course. Means that little bit more to a professional golfer. Far away. Fabulous effort. Birdies on 16 and 17. And another on 18. It's an impressive finish. 16 under par. 5 under for the back 9. Siganda.
It's exactly really what she didn't do on these holes yesterday. Was level with the card yesterday afternoon on 15 through 18, taking advantage today. Bit of a more difficult putt here for Georgia, starting on the plateau. We'll move down left to right on the ridge.
Is it? Is it? Oh! It just will not drop for Georgia this afternoon. Almost feels like she's deserved one, hasn't she? Nevertheless.
Shake of the head. She knows. But the reality is that ball striking can't be streaky. That needs to be consistent to win a tournament. But you're putting every now and then, it just evades you, and that's what's happened today.
Nevertheless, there is a birdie on the card, finally. Which just nudges her ahead of Leanne Pace into third, 13 under par.
So securing her spot in the final group again tomorrow morning.
Munoz needs this to drop to join Sikander on 16 under. Wonderful. What a time to strike for Munoz. And a big smile, a warm embrace with Sikander. And what a showdown we have in store tomorrow, Alison.
If you told me after 5 holes today when Georgia Hall had a 3-shot lead that she'd be 3 shots back going into tomorrow, it is an absolute testament to the two Spaniards, isn't it? And that finish, 3 birdies coming down the stretch for Sikander, 3 under in the last 5 holes for Munoz. It's some good golf.
I'd love to see Carlotta's face. The hands went to the head. I suspect she was probably smiling when she saw that ball disappear.
If ever there were two players that would actively barrack for each other, I think they don't want either player to lose tomorrow. They want to have the opportunity to win and have it be that story instead of the opposite.
What a day we have to look forward to. The final day here at Guadalmina. There is the 3rd round leaderboard. Carlota Sikander, Azahara Munoz alongside one another, 16 under par after that eagle putt of Munoz has disappeared on the 18th green. Georgia Hall with work to do, 13 under, so 3 shots back after a 71 today. A frustrating day for the Englishwoman. Leanne Pace still in the mix, 4 shots back, 12 under par. It's a solid day for the South African, nothing too spectacular. Good rounds of golf from Camilla Lennart, 66. That was the lowest round of the day from the young Swede. And Frina Kinhult as well, the amateur from Sweden, enjoying a wonderful 3rd day, round of 67. Escuriolo Martinez is back in fine form too. So plenty of Spanish representation on the leaderboard. Let's enjoy some of the Sikander highlights from today.
She was 1 over the card to this point, coming off a bogey at the 8th hole. This approach on 9, sat down quickly and left around about 12 feet for birdie, right to left, down the hill, and that one never looked like missing. So 2 bounce-back birdies on the front 9 set her up nicely going into the back. Par on 10. That birdie there on 11.
She is on the 12th. In the sand.
Up by the green in 2. And that was a 2nd shot on the par 4. So setting up a birdie, which she would make there on 12 as well.
And then an incredible finale from Sikander. Birdie on 16, the par 4 16th, and then on to the back-to-back par 5s. Holds this for birdie on 17.
Coming off a pretty average putt from off the green as well, so that was big to not let one slide there. And this putt was also tracking for eagle. Couldn't quite get it to drop, but still tapping birdies. Always finish your round off nicely, don't they?
5 under, round of 67 for Sikander. So that was Sikander. Let's enjoy some of Azahara Munoz's showreel from today.
Hot off the bogey on 10. Couldn't make up and down, so this shot was important, just past the pin, using the backstop on the 11th, short par 4, with Sikander in close as well. And she could answer. Up to 1 under par for the day. Short left of the green on the short par 4, 12th. So setting up back-to-back birdies there for Munoz.
Yeah, birdies on 11 and 12, and then this was on the 14th.
That was special, wasn't it? And just to finish with a little bit of flair, because you can when you're at your home course. Beautiful approach for a second into the par 5. Family watching on. And she'd knock it in for an eagle to level the lead. Set by Carlota Segunda.
It's a wonderful finish from both the Spaniards. And we have Carlota green side. Let's hear from the Spaniard.
Carlota, very well played out there today. Round of 5 under. Bit of a slow start, but you really got going at the end.
Yeah, I started with a bogey on the first hole, but I just told myself to be patient today. I know I can make birdies here, so I was like, just relax, try to hit fairways, hit greens. And it was good because I finished with a birdie on 9, and then I saw the tee was up on 12, so I made 2 good birdies, 11 and 12, and then really good finish. I mean, 3 birdies to finish, very happy, and yeah, excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be same again, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the same group, so it's it's great. Lots of people watching. I really like to play here in Spain, and then playing with Aza too. All her friends, family, lots of kids. So I think it's really good for golf.
Good luck to you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thanks.
So, Carlota Segunda reflecting on her 3rd round. And it's all set for a fantastic final day. We've heard from Carlota. Let's hear from Munoz now.
Asa, very well played out there today and a great finish. That eagle at the end could be crucial.
Yeah, I've been playing again really well and not making many putts, but, I kept patient again, and I got rewarded at the end. And finishing with an eagle definitely puts a smile on my face, and dinner is going to taste much tastier. So.
It was again a bit of a slow start on the front 9, but you and Carlota really kicked on the back 9. Why was that?
I don't know. I guess when you see each other, you see someone else starting to make birdies, you kind of pick it up too, and it was really fun to go back and forth making birdies out there with her.
Well, we'll love to see it all again tomorrow. Good luck.
Me too. Thank you.
Both pretty pleased with their efforts this afternoon, rightly so. This is the leaderboard as it stands going into the final day here. Andalucia, Carlota Segunda, Alejandra Munoz level on 16 under par, 3-shot lead over Georgia Hall. Do you have a gut feeling if I had to push you to choose one, Alison?
It's a Spanish duel tomorrow, isn't it? I mean,
just going to go for Spaniard.
What more could you want from a Sunday afternoon? These two so passionate about playing at home. They do it any chance they can get. And the sunshine. I mean, we're in Marbella. We're watching these two duke it out tomorrow. Can't wait.
Yeah, let's not forget about Georgia Hall. Be interesting to see how she responds tomorrow. And Leanne Pace as well. Just 4 shots off the lead. Lennart and Kinholt and Scuriola Martinez. Big days in store for them, as well as Megan McLaren as well. Played some good golf today. It's nicely set up here at the Andalucia Costa del Sol Open de España. And we hope we have your company once more. Hope you've enjoyed the live coverage today. We'll do it all again tomorrow, 2 o'clock local time. Until then, it's bye for now.